My name's Calvin. A couple decades ago, the doctors figured out why I was quiet. My friends, my siblings, they all spoke and made sounds as early as a few months old. I was already 4, and I had barely made a peep. It broke my parents' hearts to find out that I was born different. I couldn't speak or hear, and they had no money to help me. I was sent to a regular school, and there the other kids made my life a living nightmare. Why don't you just talk? Stop acting so weird. Miss, why do we have to share a class with him? He's not like us. There was only one among my classmates who was nice to me. His name was Odin, and he was at the top of the class. Even when we didn't understand each other, we became close. And on my birthday, he surprised me with something that made me cry. He spoke to me in ASL. He learned how to sign the words, "You're my best friend." Our friendship lasted a long time, and over the years, we both became really good at signing. Everyone at school thought we were strange, and they made it a point to tell us. But it was fun speaking in a language that only the two of us could understand. With Odin's help, I got better at reading lips and at learning. He let me copy his notes, and he bought me a software that translated things to me through an earpiece. My grades soared, and I became one of the best students in class. Odin was very happy for me, until one day we were checking on the list of people who were slated to graduate with honors, and Odin and I were neck and neck. Then something odd happened. Someone signed me up to several events and contests without me knowing. They wrote my name down for a sign-up sheet for a speech competition, and they must have bribed someone so I would be picked. When I got to the place, I looked up to see the banner, and my spirit sank. I tried to tell the organizers there, but nobody spoke sign language, and they all just thought it was a funny gag. I was shaking with fear when they pushed me onto the stage, and for 5 painful minutes, I just stood there, scared and quiet. Some kids started throwing balled-up paper, laughing and urging me to go on ahead with my speech. I could feel myself start to well up. But then I found courage, and I began to sign. Everyone in the audience gasped. Someone in the crowd knew how to speak it, and so she ran up to the stage and stood beside me. She began interpreting for me. I gave my speech in ASL. I talked about how it was hard to grow up with 2 less abilities than everyone else, but I also told them about my amazing friend Odin and how he helped me all these years. By the end of my speech, everyone in the room was in tears. I brought home the trophy, and whoever it was who wanted to humiliate me wasn't happy, because the very next week, I was sent away to be our school's delegation for a spelling bee. But whoever thought about that prank didn't think about it long enough, because I managed to win that competition by writing out the words. Once more, I made history as the first person in our school who couldn't hear and speak to win a speech competition and a spelling bee to boot. I would have finished behind my best friend. I would have been second place. But thanks to those 2 extracurricular wins, I pushed over the edge, and I was named top of our class on our graduation. In the moments before I got off the stage, I saw Odin charging up the stairs. "You thief! Those medals aren't yours. They're mine! If not for me, you wouldn't be here. I made you, and now you take everything from me." That was when I finally realized that he was the one who signed me up for those contests. He didn't say anything at the time. I wish he had. But Odin worked behind my back to make me fail. He wanted to be first so bad. He betrayed his own friend. I was just too trusting to see it at the time. I signed the words, "Then you only brought this on yourself," at him. Odin tried to rip my medals off me, but the security guards got there in time. And as they dragged him away, he vowed something I thought I would never hear from him. "Remember this, I will never stop. One day I will take you down and you will beg for mercy." With my friend gone, our plans to become roommates and conquer the real world together also faded. I was alone. It was tough at first in a world that could hear and speak, but with determination, I managed to find my place. I volunteered at a political campaign of a candidate who was just like me. Her name was Liz, and her opponent was a hearing and speaking person. I wanted to see Liz win. I wanted to see someone like me up there. And so, even though I had no money, I devoted my time and effort into helping our candidates succeed. During that campaign, I met a girl. She was giving the volunteers shirts for the rally. Her name was Anna. We went on a date, and soon she became my girlfriend. But the campaign didn't end up the way we'd hoped. We lost. There were rumors that the opposing camp bought votes and cheated. The next day, Anna blocked me everywhere, and the next time I saw her, she was holding hands with Odin. He was wearing a fancy suit and a pin I recognized. No wonder the other camp won by cheating. He was the campaign manager for our opponent, and Anna turned out to be their spy. I tried to speak to her in sign. Anna, please, this isn't who you are. I love you. Please do the right thing. Oh, shut up. You're not on the same level as me. Do you still not get it? I used you and you fell for it. Not 2 seconds later, her phone blew up with endless notifications, angry DMs and comments at her, because it turned out someone behind me had been live streaming the whole time, and Anna's outbursts were caught on camera. When I looked behind me, I was so surprised. It was her, the girl who knew ASL when I joined the speech competition, the one who was my interpreter. Her name was Jillian. And it turned out she was the richest girl in town, and she'd been in love with me this whole time. I couldn't have done anything about Odin's camp cheating if it was just me, but Jillian became my #1 supporter. We got married, and she helped me get all the evidence and influence to topple Odin's reign. Together, we exposed all the wrongdoings of Odin's political camp. His candidate was kicked out of office the very same day, but Odin got off thanks to his connections. What I did became viral. Little boys and girls started looking up to me. As someone who is differently abled, I was so proud to become an inspiration for little ones like me. I ran for office, and thanks to the buzz surrounding me, I won. Celebrities started calling on me and inviting me to parties and awards ceremonies. The UN named me an ambassador. I made my city a place that was friendly and loving towards differently abled people. I was lauded worldwide. They invited me to speak in major cities all around the globe. One day, I found Odin sitting in my office, in my chair. Funny seeing you make it this far. I would have thought you'd quit by now. People out there calling you special. I know better. You're just another sad sack who's using his sad story to manipulate people. You know, in politics, cheating is rewarded now. And thanks to you, I'm running for senator with the backing of a powerful party. And when I win, my first act is gonna be to make sure you lose your office. I smiled at him, and then I showed him the calendar on the desk. There was a date marked, and it was for a Supreme Court hearing. He thought we gave up on getting him his last punishment, when in fact, the day he got away with cheating the elections, I lodged a complaint in secret. And now, Odin's entire firm is about to be called to the Supreme Court. Odin's candidacy ended the moment he was called in. Nobody wanted to back a candidate who was being tried for rigging an election, not even the bad guys. Odin tried to bribe me, but little did he know I had a wire on, and there were cameras in my office. We released the tapes to the media and the Supreme Court. I went viral again for what I said to him in those tapes. That was the first time I was able to speak. I don't know how it happened. I was just so insulted that he would think he could bribe me, so I shouted my first ever words at him. The world is already unfair to people like me. To cheat us on top of that is evil, and there's a price people like you deserve to pay. Odin was sent to jail, and so was Anna, who was his accomplice. For my achievements, I was awarded a Nobel Peace Prize. The people called on me to run for senator. I didn't want to, but I knew I could do more good if I was in that position. And so I ran. I chose Liz as my running mate, and we won. Jillian was so proud of me. We had twins that year, and they were beautiful baby girls. On the day of our inauguration, Liz and I made history as the first duo to be non-hearing leaders of our state. So many of our supporters and constituents showed up. Petals and confetti rained down on us. They clapped for us and chanted our names. And then suddenly, I felt a sharp pain in my ear. The first sound I heard was Jillian's voice. She was whispering how much she loved me, and then I heard the thundering applause. I cried, and before I could even think to say anything else, I exclaimed into the microphone, I can hear! I can finally hear you all! I love you, and I love you, Jillian. I held my wife. Liz comforted me. Thousands of people cheered and chanted my name. I couldn't believe it. Finally, I could hear everything. I held my twins. I was overjoyed that I could hear the sounds they made. I could talk to them. I was able to regain all that I'd lost. I kissed my wife and waved at the people. It was the happiest day of my life.